around the bot lane and play with Kaiwing in that way instead of roaming around to the likes of the Rift Herald. But we are going into Champion Select. Interesting. So Frank may be realizing that Dewish's team only real play here is those more aggressive pressure junglers, banning Elise first. Pretty sure that's the first time we've seen that here in Summer.
Yeah, Elise and Sejuani. So 4 junglers banned already. And I wonder if this favors WSL or not. I kind of feel like if it does go down to kind of tier 2 junglers, it is better for his picks. At the same time though, Kenny Chan, he's looking like a pretty strong jungler now, so I'm sure he'll be happy to go down to maybe some of his pocket picks. Haven't seen anything, you know, off meta really, except for the Poppy. Even that is pretty meta now.
5 jungle bans.
Yeah, I could see a 6th here. And that would mean a lot of the power picks get through.
Wow. We definitely have not seen 5. Now that is, I guess, technically 6. Although Nico, we've seen it played support, can be played
jungle.
mid, and it's been played jungle. So you could say that's 6 jungle bans, although Nico not necessarily. Tristana the first lock-in. I like this already. I think this so far is looking better for Dewish's draft than often we see. But what is the answer back? We've got Kaiser already. I think you pretty much have to pick a jungler in the first 3 now with just how many have been taken off.
Yeah, I think picking the Poppy again is honestly pretty good. Obviously, it's kind of annoying for Tristana to play against, and it feels like it just does well against a lot of the supports that Enhao can play. So we'll see. I think Azir could be another champ that's picked in Tristana. Not very good for the first few levels, but after that, you know, really kind of comes into its own. So we'll see what they end up going for. And with a lot of junglers gone, like you said, I think both teams should look to pick up their jungler first 3. Unless they want to play something really off-meta, you know, maybe look for something like the Karthus. That Tristana does allow WSL to play some more of those AP champs. And Poppy picked up, I think, no surprises really. But I'd like to see Dewish team go towards, you know, something like a Karthus now. You know, one of those AP junglers. Ivan would be good too.
Ivan would be good, but I'm not sure that it's going to help the cause of Dewish team specifically. I think it does pair fine with the Tristana and pretty much anything you build around it, but is it really Dewish's way in? Looks like at least for now it won't be, as Renekton will be the lock-in here for JP up in that top lane.
I think taking the Renekton here is a little bit of a bait. I mean, it does look strong, but I think if you're blinding Renekton without Sejuani into already a Poppy and then getting countered top, I feel like it loses a lot of its value. Obviously, it is just a strong top lane blind, but I feel like we could have done a bit better.
91% win rate at the moment,
Yeah,
which is pretty
ridiculous.
Nautilus is only at a 12.5.
Yeah. Oh, I think the Jax is pretty destructive here.
Yep. And Solo Kill definitely pilots this champion like the best of them, so I'm excited to see him back on this champ. He has played it before, obviously many times.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, I am definitely favoring Frank's team comp, at least thus far. I wonder if Dewish team will go for that sort of Tristana, you know, flex pick and put it as the AD carry and take the LeBlanc if LeBlanc stays open.
Yeah, it's possible. I think, though, that this Trist will go mid, and I think it will be a hard AP jungler like Karthus or Lilia coming out. I'd maybe like to see Frank target one of those. Just keep banning out junglers, make WSL's job really difficult. Yeah, Karthus. I think it's a really good ban.
Yeah. Karthus probably the best solo AP in the game, I'd have to say. Just the amount of...
Ban Alistar. Ooh. I think Lilia ban. WSL, I believe he played it last split. What other hard AP
They could
jungler
possibly look for the Nidalee Renekton.
Yeah.
They have a lot of setup already for that champ.
Maybe, but it's hard to play in team fights. I guess if there's a not a... Yeah.
WSL, that was one of WSL's best games last split as well, was on the Nidalee.
Yeah, surely it's an AP jungler ban, though. You'd have to think.
Yeah.
Ziggs.
Oh, okay.
We haven't seen the Ziggs Tristana really work out yet. I don't think that's because the combo is weak, but I do think it's a little hard to execute. But maybe they just think, okay, if Dewish team don't get really ahead early, we are just going to clean them up. So now, what do you look for here? Probably could be mid or support, actually. Depends which one you want to counter the comp with.
I think you can just take the Leona. You're almost certainly just taking Leona anyway.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
This could be, what, so Kai'Sa mid into Trez. I'm not sure how good that is. Guess we'll see.
Well, it will just be both. If that is the case, I imagine it's just 2 static shivs. Okay, so...
Yeah, but that means Zyra or Khan can come in here, right?
Yeah, actually, wow.
That's a pretty ridiculous comp if they get that. So what do we look for? Oh, I don't think we want to be Varus here.
No, there's a lot of running at people.
Yeah, I mean, there just aren't that many ADC options available.
There's a strong lane as well against the lower ranged AD carries.
I feel like it's a lost condition, though. I don't know. Ultimately, they don't have a really good pick here. So they do go for the Varus. Maybe they can use it to get ahead early, but it's going to be so hard to play Varus in team fights.
It is also AP if they opt that route.
Yeah, could be a Kindred.
Wow, 380 carries.
I don't think this is a good Kindred game. I don't think it's going to be. I think it has to be. I think it should be AP. Even if Varus can go AP, ooh, take away the Rakan.
Okay,
and
so
play Nautilus jungle.
Wow.
That's actually a good adaptation.
Exciting. Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah. I think it's maybe still not good, but I honestly think they kind of had to do it. Because if you give over Zyra Rakan with this combo, or like with their comp, excuse me, it's going to be so hard to play the game. So putting the Nautilus jungle here, I wonder if this is something they had thought about, or if it was just a spur-of-the-moment adaptation, but if it was, I think credit to them. It's really trying to salvage this draft, but to me it feels pretty unsalvageable. Blitzcrank, though, for Kaiwing.
Okay, yeah. We've had a lot of Blitzcranks already. You can see 16% pick rate, which is very high for a Blitzcrank in any given meta. But we've seen Xiao Ci's Blitzcrank, and now it's Kaiwing's turn to really see if he can come anywhere near that performance. These drafts are insane, actually. We're like, Nautilus jungle, that's the first time we've seen that. First time we've seen the Kai'Sa mid. Yeah, and then the takeaway of the Rakan from the Xayah as well to adapt, as you've pointed out, as an insane adaptation. And Nautilus does work in the jungle. Has a bit of a slower clear for the most part, but the amount of CC it offers in any sort of ganks and skirmishes is insane.
I will be really interested to see how the mid matchup pans out, because we have seen Kai'Sa mid played a little bit internationally into the LeBlanc, where you just kind of go for the Shiv as well. You both get to trade farm evenly, and then in the mid game, Kai'Sa does very well until LeBlanc can blow her up pretty quick. But I'm not sure how it will go against Tristana. Feels like Trish should definitely get the advantage in the early game. But Pretender's pretty good at laning, so maybe he can just make up for it. And I don't think it's a matchup we've seen at all internationally, so not actually 100% sure how the matchup will go.
No, I think... Well, I mean, just the nature of how the static Shiv works at the moment. I feel like it's just both ADs will... Well, mid laners, I guess, in this case, will play fairly passive. I guess Zhao 2 really should have the priority if he wants to go in for trades. But I think it's mostly both of them are just going to want to get to the static Shiv and try and find themselves some pressure in the side lanes to then group up, look for objectives.
Yeah, could see that. I wonder, what build do you think the Varus is going for?
I think it has to be AP.
Yeah,
Nautilus isn't going to offer you enough AP.
I actually like the AP Varus build more than Poker on here at the moment. I think it actually is the best build.
Yeah, well, you can really slice away these healths in an insane amount of time. If you get that Blight up, an empowered Q absolutely destroys pretty much anyone. You can't really build against it so well. Obviously, magic resist goes a long way, but health certainly doesn't. So it is good, and I mean, it'll do a lot to try and take out the frontliners of Frank. Obviously, Jax doesn't really like being auto-attacked. Can't, in fact, auto-attack him for a lot of the time, but Varus doesn't have to worry about that too much, especially if the Chain of Corruption will land onto the Jax. Can do a lot to be able to take out solo kill.
That's true as well, and something you brought up in Champs League with the 380 carries into Jax feels a little strange. I mean, obviously if Varus goes that AP build, it's like a pseudo 80 carry, but I feel like
it's only two now, it's Nautilus.
Oh, true, they didn't end up going for Kindred, I was going to say, Kindred obviously isn't good at that game, but then I remembered it is Nautilus. The Nautilus jungle will be kind of interesting as well. I'm not sure if there are gankable lanes here, because it feels like ganking the Jax is probably going to be too hard. Ganking the Kai'Sa, though, I think is really, really easy, especially with your Tristana.
Yeah, you have to find a good angle, though. Tristana doesn't really have setup. So,
I mean, she can just jump on it for the slow.
That is true. But even then, Kai'Sa does get a speed boost. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty hard to look even mid. I feel like Pretender should be good enough to realize that he isn't going to be having priority early unless there are some pretty heavy mistakes from Zhao 2. You could look towards bot. Rakan does have a fair amount of setup, as well as Varus can follow up from pretty much anywhere in the lane. So that could be an angle. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm excited, though. We're heading now into our first game here for the final day of Week 2, and it is going to be Dewish team versus Frank. Dewish team trying to get their first win on the board, and They're starting off by heading this 5-man towards the bot bush.
Yeah. Creative level 1 and a creative draft could be the way to do it. Some creative runes as well, as we've got the PTA on Tristana, so definitely playing for the laning phase. Wants to play for those all-in trades. And I think they might actually find something with this.
Yeah, Eminem might be forced to use a summoner here.
Yeah, it depends where he stands.
No one's been seen yet.
Oh. What? Okay, so he was going to blind hook that bush. So it wouldn't have ended up doing anything anyway, but he did hook the wall.
Does that do anything for his clear? Surely it does. I don't really know how a Nautilus clear works, but...
I think as long as he gets a leash, it should be fine. Obviously, impossible to solo start with Q, I would imagine. But we'll see. I think it's fine for your bot lane to leash here, probably. It's not like you're playing the Comet Varus that really needs to get ahead in lane. Needs to start kind of in that bot bush.
I think it will be AP with the Halo Blades.
Yeah, probably. And there just isn't that a lot of AP damage on the team. I think especially PTA Trist probably will just be going a more regular Trist build. I mean, we'll see. And the Kai'Sa I would expect to be going pretty much straight AP after the Shiv. Would expect Ludens to come out later on, although I guess it could just be, you know, what we see, kind of the standard Shiv, Nasage, Raid Blade, but I'd be down to see the Ludens.
I think this looks more like a Ludens game to me. I think you have by far enough DPS within the Xayah as well as the Jax. I mean, even the Ludens Kai'Sa does so much DPS anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, Ludens makes a lot of sense here, but all things considered, we have Nautilus pathing towards top. Now, that is definitely a possibility to look there. If somehow the Counter-Strike gets baited out of solo kills Jax. Oh, hold up, we do have a hook land already. Inhal doesn't have the dash to be able to get out of that, so it does take a fair amount of damage. But as I was saying, I think if you are able to get the Counter-Strike out, there are definite angles where Nautilus and Renekton can take out the Jax, particularly before Grandmaster's might of that Jax ult is available.
Oh, another hook lands. No
no dash still. That's going to be a root, and it should be first blood. Goes over to Kaiwing here. 2 from 2, making the Blitzcrank very worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely not how you expect that bot lane matchup to go. It was just 2 hooks hit back to back, and first one wasn't too bad because Enhal did have the bone plating, but the second one, he's punished very, very hard for it. And I feel like getting hit by hooks here as Rakan is pretty unforgivable.
Ooh, okay, so we didn't notice this. Kenny Chan went and stole the blue buff from WSL. Looks like WSL looking for an invade here, but he has absolutely no bot pressure. Kaiwing will be able to scout him out.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's not going to be able to trade anything back, especially now that his bot lane died. They're just going to be too weak to contest. That's a really rough start for the side of Dewish team. Now behind him both jungle and bot lane. It looks like mid's not going too much better. WSL, I don't think you can do this.
No, definitely not.
Is he really going to try?
Looks like he is.
He has no business being here.
Yeah, no, Kenny Chan is in the area as well as Eminem and Kaiwing. So this Nautilus is all by himself. Wisely is backing away. Kaiwing has flash available. Has been on point with those hooks, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised he even thought there was ever a chance of doing that. Because with your ADC going base and the enemy AD coming back with an item advantage, there's just no universe you're ever going to be able to take that. Either way, though, at least he crosses mid and will now be able to get a top scuttle for himself. What he can do afterwards, though, it feels like it's not a whole lot. Ooh, jump comes out in the mid. That's the slow does not hit. Kai'Sa can get away from it. That's a lot of cooldowns burned. But Poppy, she's not close enough.
Okay. Importantly, WSL is spotted out on that ward there, so Pretender should be wise to the potential of a dive, honestly.
Ooh, Kenny Chan's looking probably just for the
This is
Krugs.
a massive wave.
They're full HP and full sums. I don't think they can be dived. I'm surprised they're walking away. I think they should have stayed under tower here.
Yeah, well, they're just losing so much. This is almost worse than losing the kill, as Tower Plate will be going over here to Frank, as well as the vast majority of that minion wave going down just to the tower. In fact, people are even missing once he does get here.
Yeah, I feel like... I just don't think you should die there. I mean, if you have full sums, full HP, and you can still get dived, then your champs just suck. Well, they backed away and they didn't die, and maybe that's where some of the consistency from Pepper and Enhal comes from. They're willing to give up things when they need to, but perhaps willing to give up too much as well.
Oh, okay.
Nice little bit of damage on Kaiwing there. Pepper, he will be going for the Shiv, so we would expect to see AP after that.
Definitely.
And Trey's in mid lane, they've been going to Pretender's favor, I think, despite Zhao 2 having the PTA.
Okay, solo kill. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Renekton should have Dominus up. Yeah, there we go. Level 6 now, so he's pretty undivable. Kenny Chan really no business trying for that, but looking to take some more here off WSL's jungle. Poppy, not really known as a pressured jungler, but I guess against the Nautilus is feeling really safe to just continuously walk in. Solo kill seemingly having constant pressure is, wow. Eminem half-healthing Enhal just by himself.
Oh, huge trades come out in mid.
Wow, Pretender definitely getting the better here.
Yeah, and there's no TP for Tristana. She will just have to recall. Kenny Chan, can he stop this? I think he will.
Yeah, wow, that's so annoying for Zhao too. But massive for Pretenders. He's going to be able to claim this wave, push it in. Kenny Chan kind of griefing there a little bit.
Yeah, Tristana's actually going to stay. But this is really good, and I think the reason Poppy is able to kind of have so much pressure...
Oh! Void Seeker only actually just forces out a flash.
Yeah. That's pretty unfortunate.
Probably not worth the minion wave after that happens.
Anyway, go back to what I was saying. I think the reason Poppy is just having so much pressure is mainly just because of these lane advantages. Like, you see Solo Kill was getting a lot of pressure up in the top lane, and bot lane obviously was going pretty well for Frank with their 2v2 kill early. And it feels like mid has been relatively even, maybe slightly to Pretender's favor as well, but ultimately it doesn't feel like either mid was really healthy enough to rotate and stop everything. So it's just kind of WSL playing with 3 lanes of no prio currently, and that's kind of just feels like player gap.
I feel like, especially in top, it feels like player gap. I swear when we see the Jax versus Renekton, Renekton's usually got himself a little bit, at least, of a CS lead and has the pressure in the lane, at least until the later stages. But here we see Solo Kill remaining pretty much even and sitting at JP's tower almost the entirety of the lane, which is a bit backwards from what we're used to seeing.
Definitely is. And 8 minutes in here, I wonder, will we start looking at the Herald here for Dewish team? Probably won it with your Tristana. Can definitely get the ball rolling for her nice and early. But I feel like that's a fight that Frank should be willing to take. Both supports now around mid. Can Enhal get level 5 in time? We'll see. Ooh, Hook does go wide. I think WSL's starting this up. Ooh.
Yeah, wow. A bit too overzealous there from Enhal as the ground. Wow, that is unreal.
That is tragic. I mean,
Chain of Corruption goes wide as well.
Wow. But maybe
4 man, and Zhao 2 now rooted up is going to have to use that rocket jump away, and Frank getting everything they want. Hook only just out of range.
Yeah, so close. And Dewish team.
The fight continues. Kenny Chan getting low. It's going to be claimed there by Renekton, but Pretender trying to offload as much damage as possible. Solo Kill not in the area, but is headed down here from the top lane.
Yeah, okay, they're going to turn back to it. And I think with that, Frank will probably give this one up. Ultimately, it did just end up being that 1-for-1. But I think this actually should have been a really good fight here for Dewish team. Probably could have got the Herald just for free. Because what should happen, I think, is that you have a much stronger team fighter in Rakan. Blitzcrank needs to land some sort of pick, before it starts, and you're not expecting that to be on Rakan and Zhao 2.
That's just going to be a solo kill.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty unforgivable. I really feel like Tristana should be winning the matchup early. Forced to flash in the 1v1 and now solo kill in the 1v1. As we'll get a look at how this happened, and how just way too greedy with the pathing. I mean, just walking past the wall right in front of Poppy. I'm not too sure what he was thinking, but either way, he was punished pretty hard for it. And honestly, this was pretty much free. Ooh, nice dodge by Kenny Chan. It was pretty much free. I mean, nothing was really committed by Frank other than the flash ignite from Kaiwing, but probably could fight after that, but just overreached and were punished for it. But now Shiv on Kai'Sa, Kraken on Eminem Xayah. And Dewish team, they're rushing 2 Shivs as well, but behind on the items, probably going to have to give over the first drag. Especially because they are going to lose a lot of priority now in both the mid and bot lane, just with those item advantages. That's going to make contesting this so hard. Kenny Chan, he's looking bot maybe? Ooh, Dewish team. They're going to play for something. Eminem has sums and ulti, so he doesn't really feel like he's threatened here.
Yeah, we've seen this bush camp a lot. And it actually has worked more times than it hasn't, as Kenny Chan only just not going to be able to find that, but it's going to force out the Buster shot.
That's
Wow.
pretty nice. Just getting cooldowns all across the map. And JP, with that kill he got from that last skirmish, maybe he can make a little bit of headway, take a plate or two in the top lane. Be a nice little bit of gold for himself. Dolico has TP up though. When he does have item, probably will look for some sort of reset. And I'm a little surprised that Frank haven't looked for the dragon here at all. But I think also, I mean, you can just let this Kai'Sa scale up a bit more if you want. Maybe instead just want to play for gold though. Pressuring bot lane.
Another plate now going over to Eminem. Really important gold here for the Xayah. I mean, your Kai'Sa's already ahead. Already going to be a menace, especially once some more of these items can come online, as well as when she gets some of these buffs. But Kenny Chan looking for WSL here. It's 3-man strong. Flash is used. Kaiwing is going to look for the hook. Will land it here. This will be WSL going down. Is going to not use the ult, at least for now. Pretender picking himself up a third.
Pretender is just getting all of these. And he's going to be so fed in this game. It's going to be pretty ridiculous. WSL was caught out of position there. It's pretty hard to dodge Nor hooks.
Oh, Eminem. Eminem getting caught by everything, but Cleanse will come out for that chain of corruption. As Dewish team should find a lot of damage here. I think the bottom lane have stopped this dragon.
Yeah, can they get Eminem's flash?
Pepero fast. Oh, okay, so quickness does come out of Inhow. It should be Kenny Chan maybe going down as the knockup comes through. But Eminem, he's turning it around. He finds one. He's looking for a second one. Inhow tagged up by that Void Seeker, and it is Eminem picking up two.
And once again, I feel like just mis-execution out of Dewish team. I think there probably was a way to get kills there. If you had stayed further away from the wall, you know, maybe you can flash something afterwards. Instead, though, they managed to get Kenny Chan but go into Eminem's waiting arms, who's now 2-0. And we'll get a look at this, because I feel like there was probably a way to win this. So initially, knockup comes out onto Eminem. Chain of Corruption was cleansed early. They do a nice job to kite everything out. But I think here, if you just play further out, you know, either Poppy commits really deep into, you know, knocking you into the other wall, in which case you can just walk away after. But instead, they go so far. Picture in picture, though.
Yeah, well,
Zhaotu's been hooked.
we come back. Zhaotu has gone down again, and Pretender has picked himself up, what I believe is his fourth. Yep, there we go.
And Pretender's going for the Luden's second.
Yeah.
So it's going to be poking extremely early. And that's going to be really hard to deal with, because there's going to be no lifesteal sustain whatsoever for Dewish team for a very long time here. And perhaps ever.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, so this was TP from Zhaotu. It was spotted, I believe, on the mini-map. Yeah, so they know he's here. Answering TP comes in, and Zhaotu... Ooh, he still goes for it. I mean, he saw the TP come in from Pretender, so I guess he just thought he could take him out. Ooh, nice flash hook from Kaiwing. I guess just didn't know where the Blitzcrank was, and another... It feels like another aggressive play from Dewish team just ends up propelling Frank ahead more.
It kind of feels like Dewish team try and set up these plays, but they don't actually set it up sufficiently enough. Like, maybe you could have an angle there, but because you didn't find where the Blitzcrank is, it's just never going to pay out. But if you do know where the Blitzcrank is, and he's not in range, you code for that, then it probably works a whole lot better for you.
Yeah. I mean, it is difficult, I think, when you are behind. As another fight. Looks like it might start.
Ooh,
nice
really nice steadfast presence, as now it's all the damage coming in from Eminem. WSL will go down. It is going to be Pretender picking that one up. He's looking for another. That is a double kill. Should be the bot lane at least getting out.
Yeah, that was crazy setup. That was like Nautilus hook disengaged from the Poppy W into a ton of follow-up CC. I hope we get a replay, because that was super well done by the side of Frank, and feels like they're pulling ahead to an almost insurmountable lead here. 6-0 on the Kai'Sa. Should have Ludens and maybe Sorks if she goes for them as well. It's going to be so hard to deal with her.
You know, out of considering we had 5, arguably 6 jungle bans in the first rotation, I think Poppy, maybe after Maokai, is probably the best champion to have against what is the Nautilus jungle, the Tristana mid, and also the Rakan in support.
Yeah.
Gets so much value no matter what it uses that steadfast presence on.
Yeah, I think it do be a bit of a draft diff. Ludens now picked up on the Kai'Sa. Gold difference has been in Frank's favor from minute 0 here. Minute 130, I suppose. 4.5 minutes on the next drag. Drag has been pretty slow this game. Haven't seen a lot of prioritization from it, from Frank, but they've been doing stuff instead, you know, diving lanes, winning fights. It's not like they've been inactive. And you kind of see that in the gold. Very far ahead. Another hook lands.
Is going to get hooked midway through that dash. He's going to get away for now, but that might cause WSL to go down. In fact, it's only going to cost them their flash, but...
Pretender. He's got one.
Oh, yep, there we go. Quick scoped.
Can he get the other one?
Doesn't look like he's going for it.
That was nice, though.
Inhal thought he was going to dodge out of that hook. Unfortunately not.
That champ is very annoying. Especially when it gets this fed. You know, having a Ludens this early, not even going for that Nashes before it, makes it so hard to deal with.
Okay, JP wisely backing out.
And poor JP, I feel like he hasn't really done anything wrong in this game, but he also hasn't converted into much, right? Like, I think he is sort of countered, but it's more of a scaling counter.
I think at least early he probably should be favored.
Yeah. Didn't really get much with it, though. Another Chain of Corruption does go wide.
lolclips will be claiming his tower there up in the top lane. So 2 towers now for Frank. Only this mid lane outer remains. As I think Eminem now is at the point where he's happy to just stay in lane even if it is 2v1. As long as that ult's available, should be fine.
Player gold, Pretender is up about 3k over Zhao2, which is pretty crazy. But also, Kaiwing is up 1k over the enemy support, which is something you don't think about too much in League, but supports get very little income. So having a lot of kills, having a lot of assists is Kaiwing 105 here. It actually means you do have a lot more items in the enemy support. And sometimes that doesn't matter too much, but if your Blitzcrank's going for an Everfrost, it feels very impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see the Everfrost. Bit more aggressive in terms of the item builds, but when you are this far ahead and you're landing so many hooks, makes a lot of sense. Just going to have that extra bit of lockdown on whoever does get caught by that rocket grab.
Mid-tier 1 does go down. They have a lot of poke and a lot of pick here. Dewish team, ooh, nice dodge. Oh, but ulted away,
wow.
and that should be another one.
Yeah, see you later, WSL. It's going to be another charge. Not quite the tower just yet, but...
Oh,
wow, Pepero is going to lose half of his health.
Yeah, and there's more where that came from. There's another one on the JP.
Yeah, let's see how many you can hit. We've seen Eminem, his AD carrier, hit like 5, 6, 7 in a row. Find out who's the better Kaiser in the team.
Now, Pretender did go for the Berserkers. I guess does just need the upgrade. And Zhao2, he has a ward. Just going to keep him safe, but he needs to be careful because I think if he is caught by the Void Seeker here, there's a lot of damage that can follow it up. I wonder, is he going to try jump on him?
Zhao2, Zhao2, Zhao2.
What was he thinking? Okay, Pretender, can he get out?
It was a bait the whole time. Here comes JP. Okay, teleported in response here. Should be fine to get away, but Zhao2...
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. That feels a little bit like it's inting.
I wonder if he was just trying to bait Kaiser to dash on him early.
Zhao2 now teleporting mid, looking for Kaiwing, but in fact is going to be met with so much damage. WSL lands the hook here, importantly, but with the disengage coming out of Kenny-chan, should be keeping this Xayah nice and safe. There are a lot of feathers on the ground here, and WSL not long for this world. Solo kill coming around the side, does have flash available.
And once again, it's Dewish team's aggressive play that just ends up being a lead for Frank. I feel like Frank have obviously done a good job of punishing their mistakes, but Frank haven't even needed to really set up plays of their own because Dewish team just continually gift them to their opponents. And Medjai is now in Pretender with only 6 stacks. I think he realizes that, you know, he is in no danger of dying, and Dewish team, they're just going to keep running at them.
Yeah, okay. So Dragon spawns in 20 seconds. Likewise, the Baron will also be spawning. So I think Frank really have their pick of the litter. So much damage coming out of Xayah, Jax, as well as Kaiser. So Baron will not last long at all. But also they could just play it more slow, steady, go for the Dragon. I feel like it's a Baron angle. Dragon doesn't feel like a win con this game.
Yeah. I'd like it. I think they're ahead enough. Maybe now looking around mid again. Kaiwing, he's been hitting great hooks all game. Zhao2, he might be next.
Oh, okay. Went for the predict.
Luckily, he did manage to jump out there in time. Looks like they will pick up this Dragon. Now, they could just be picking it up for the stats. Infernal Drag, even just for the 6% AD AP, will be really good here for their team. But I would like to see them do the Baron. It's going to go down so fast, and I don't think there's any way the Dewish team can contest. And if they do, should be able to take them out pretty early. No, it's actually 5%.
I feel like no matter who gets hit by Blitzcrank Hook, they're just going to immediately go down.
Pretty much,
I don't think anyone
maybe
is able
JP
to survive.
can survive for 5 seconds or so.
Maybe, but even that I'm skeptical about. But here we are. Siege onto the mid lane. We'll pick up their first inner tower. Actually, it's not. They picked up the bot lane first. And Ping's now headed towards the Baron. This could very likely be Baron for Frank, as well as Dewish team if they are to contest. I don't like their chances as the Everfrost, as well as that flash knock-up comes through. Zhao2 down. It's 2 more members going down as well. There's Inhao. Next up is JP6. He does go down as well. Pretender finding as much damage as he can, but ultimately, Pepero trading one back for themselves onto Kaiwing.
There should be Frank now turning to the Baron, and I think with that, Dewish team's chances in this game are pretty gone. Maybe there's some way they can contest. I mean, they're going to try. Feels like they sort of need a Hail Mary, but it's so difficult. If WSL can sneak all the way around and steal it, that could buy them some time. Oh, Pepero was found.
Off screen, yeah. Okay, WSL is going to be looking for it. It's going to have to just go immediately.
Oh, he's too late.
Oh, he would have had the chance to do it,
He
actually.
almost went anyway. Yeah, actually could have stolen that. Unfortunately, didn't have any vision. And Pepero was just sniped by Pretender in there at some point. Now 12 stacks on his Medjais. And with that, I think Frank should be able to pick up this game without too much more difficulty.
Yeah, I think this is just a matter of grouping up and pushing. Maybe having solo kill on the side lane.
Yeah, now there are 2 shivs for Dewish teams. That can make the siege more difficult, makes it take a lot more time, and makes you kind of need to sync your minion waves a bit better so that you can split the members up, try and attack these multiple points. Because if you have 2 shivs clearing 1 wave at a time, it's going to be really hard. Oh, WSL, I think if he'd hit that, would have actually been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think that could have been his demise real quick. I think at this stage, if you are WSL, you pretty much just can't throw out a hook. The only time you can really do it is if you're trying to peel for, I guess, Pepero. Pepero does have 2 items. The Nashes and the Static Shift completed for this Varus. Once again, though, we see, really, this Dewish team, everyone not looking so hot, but Pepero does hold his own. Down in CS, but that is kind of just the nature of the beast when Frank have their way with absolutely everything on the map.
Yeah, now Siege comes through and there's so much poke from the Kaiser. Look how far back Pretender can stand and still deal damage. That's ridiculous. He's at their top tier 2 and he's sieging with them. Yeah,
this is insane. Just a couple more autos on this tower should take it, but Eminem first prioritizing taking out that minion wave. It does mean you'll have the minion wave to follow you to take out this inhibitor, as the cannon will finish off. These constant Void Seekers, Zhao2 now low, WSL low, and Pretender pulls the trigger. Doesn't manage to find anyone and take them out just yet, but to show on just how manly he really is, as focus now goes towards this mid wave.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long now. Hook comes in.
Yep, grounded, steadfast presence, again finding value as the fight does break out. Inhale trying to find as many charms as possible. It is going to be an Eminem going up into a Featherstorm, but JP finding so much damage. Eminem with the rip back finds 2, and it's a clean ace.
Not much to say, I think, about this one. It was just kind of a shellacking start to finish, but Frank, in clean fashion, 24 minutes in, are going to take the win here over Dewish team, and it is a good look for them. Started week 1, 0-3, ending week 2, 3-0, so they've definitely turned it around. And Dewish team, hate to say it, but it felt like they were outplayed, outdrafted, didn't really have a way into this game.
Yeah, no, it didn't ever really feel like they looked like they were going to be able to do anything. I mean, I want to say it again. No, I don't want to flame him too much, but it seems like just every single game Zhao2 makes so many both decision mistakes as well as mechanical mistakes where you really got to question putting him on these high skill cap champions, like